What is up, all of my YouTube friends, and what is up, all of you fellow horror fans? Abigail is a brand new monster horror film directed by Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillette from Radio Silence, starring Melissa Barrera. And I'm happy to say that I have finally seen it, and I'm stoked to be talking about it today. I'm going to be giving a spoiler-free review, so if you haven't seen it, you are in the clear. And before we dive in, as always, make sure you smash like and subscribe if you're new here. It's a pretty great channel to sink your teeth into, you know what I mean? But anytime I hear that Radio Silence is making a brand new horror film, I am definitely intrigued. I'm personally a big fan of what they did with the Scream franchise, as well as the ever so iconic Ready or Not, and I gotta say, it was refreshing to see that they were stepping away from Ghostface, because as fun as that must have been for them, obviously it was like a passion project. I'm sure they have a lot of other things they want to work on, and if this is any indication of what that future looks like, we're in good hands. But if you're not by chance familiar with what Abigail is about, the synopsis reads, a group of would-be criminals kidnap the 12-year-old daughter of a powerful underworld figure. Holding her for ransom in an isolated mansion, their plan starts to unravel when they discover their young captive is actually a bloodthirsty vampire. So the twist is not really a spoiler because that's what the movie is advertised as, but if you are looking for twists and turns throughout this movie, there definitely are plenty, especially in like the last half hour or so. But you know, just thinking about my initial thoughts, like when I was walking out of this movie, I just gotta say I really enjoyed it. Is it my favorite horror movie of all time? No. But was it a blast at the theaters? Yes. I definitely recommend getting out and watching this one on the big screen. There are some movies that, you know, you can kind of just get away with watching it on your couch, but this is definitely one you want to go see and sit with an audience and watch because it's a lot of fun. It definitely felt more Ready or Not than Scream, if that makes sense. It was really creative, it was scary, but it was very hilarious at times and very bloody. These dudes just love blood and they make it so apparent in every frame of every one of their movies. But as for the performances, I honestly just want to start by talking about Melissa Barrera, man. This is her third film with these guys, and she's only gotten better. From a performance standpoint, yes, but I think she's also just grown on the audience. She's definitely grown on me. Scream 6 basically solidified her as like an iconic Scream queen and final girl, but this only further cements that. She's very much the main character, and there's much more emotional depth to this character than I ever could have expected. They did a really good job balancing horror, humor, and heart. But when she needs to be a badass, she's definitely a badass. But in a different way than maybe Sam Carpenter was. This felt more raw. And you know, personally, I'm just happy for her, and I hope she gets all the praise in the world from this movie, because after everything that's happened with Spyglass and the Scream franchise, she deserves it, man. She really, really does. But another actor that actually caught me by surprise in this movie, and he's actually having a hell of a year right now, but Dan Stevens. He plays one of the criminals in the house, and he was absolutely phenomenal. I recently saw him in Godzilla x Kong, and he was a small standout in that. I think I mentioned him a little bit in my review, just saying, I don't really know who this guy is, but he's pretty darn funny. So then seeing him show up in this, and the performance that he gave in this, it really made me feel like this guy should just be in everything. He's absolutely hilarious, and given the right script, which I felt like this was, he's just able to showcase how witty he can be and sarcastic. At least he plays that role really well. But if you saw the trailer, you'll also know that Kathryn Newton was in this, and she's not new to the horror comedy lane whatsoever, and she was great. Not too much to talk about there, but I honestly thought she was pretty perfect for the role that she played. And as was everyone else, Giancarlo Esposito makes an appearance in there, which is always a blast. And then we get to Angus Cloud. And I actually forgot that dude was in this, and just rest in peace, man. All love goes out to Fezco because he's just gone too soon. And he was so great in this movie. That's the sad thing. It just feels like he had so many more roles like this ahead in his future. And to see that cut short, it's so sad. It's such a shame. But I'm so happy that he was cast in this, and we got one last performance from Angus. They even paid a little bit of tribute to him at the end, and that was beautiful, man. I love that actor, and he was so great in this. But then, of course, we have Abigail, and bro, this girl, Alisha Weir, deserves an award. An award for the best ballerina vampire ever in existence. And that might sound cheesy, but seriously, honestly, the way that they utilized Swan Lake to pair with this little creepy dancing monster girl was freaking epic. And they gave her so much more dialogue than I ever expected, and she absolutely delivered on every single line. She's a star in the making, dude. She really is. But as for this film as a whole, like I said, it was everything that I needed it to be. The premise alone basically tells you everything you need to know. There's a bunch of people who kidnap a little girl, they're locked in a house, and this little girl turns out to be a vampire. It gets crazy, it gets gross, I found myself like crying, laughing at times. It's just a hell of a ride. Also, and again, Melissa Barrera shines like the sun, and that's actually not good for vampires, so that bodes well for her character. But if you're familiar with my channel, you'll know that I have to give my Jones Vibes star rating for every movie that I see. This is based purely on my enjoyment level of the film, and guys, I'm giving Abigail 4 out of 5 stars. But it feels so good to have another Radio Silence film. You know, it's funny watching this and then thinking about the other Radio Silence films that I've seen, just kind of ranking them in my head. I don't know really where that stacks up. I'm so biased when it comes to the Scream franchise that I think I would put Scream 5 and 6 above this movie, and then Ready or Not is like, it's such an iconic movie that it's hard not to put it on top of this, but that's not to say that this movie wasn't phenomenal. I think that it would probably be at the bottom of that list, but I'll have to watch it again just like I've done so with the other movies. But the real question is, have you seen Abigail? And if so, what did you think? And if you haven't seen it, are you excited for the movie? Are you gonna go see it? Please don't hesitate to go down to the comment section and leave me all of those thoughts. I read every single comment that comes in, and I greatly appreciate them. Also, guys, I have a goal I'm trying to reach right now here on the channel. I'm trying to get to 15,000 subscribers, so head down to the subscribe button if you haven't already and click it for more videos and more content like this. But as always, make sure you smash like, click on another video on your way out. You can follow me on X at Jones Vibes Only, and don't forget to keep up the good vibes, guys. Na 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 na.